So we're starting to hear a lot of AFL experts now talk about the 2025 AFL draft. And I feel like one guy who always talks about the draft, a legit draft guru, does happen to be Grlj Toomey. And I'm not going to lie, bro dropped some interesting knowledge on one of the most recent episodes of Gettable, specifically on who he thinks a lot of teams are going to be drafting, who is going to be in their window, and why is my nose so itchy? My eyes are itchy. Hay fever is touching me without consent while I'm trying to film. He's dropping a lot of knowledge on who a lot of teams might be looking to try and draft. And one team, of course, who particularly stood out to me as a massive Richmond fan. I mean, look at this shit, bro. Why? Oh, shit. I don't even know if I can pull it over here because it's caught on a piece of wood from some renovations. Look at this Richmond blanket, bro. If you couldn't tell, I'm a massive Richmond fan. So I was very interested on what Grlj Toomey had to say about the Tigers and who he thinks, of course, we could go on the draft. So there is a thing here by Tiger Faithful, a very popular Richmond Instagram page, which I highly recommend you go and give them a follow. They say, does Grlj Toomey already know who Richmond will draft? Toomey has narrowed Richmond's likely selection pool into 4 players: Sullivan Robey, Sam Grlj, Xavier Taylor, and Sam Cumming. They go on to say, obviously West Coast could pull a huge surprise and take Robey at 2, which would leave Tyler available for selection, which I'd assume would be a very easy decision for the Tigers. Right now, if West Coast take Dersma and Tyler, and we don't trade back, which I don't believe the Tigers will, I think that is out of the question now at this point, I'm taking Sullivan Robey at pick 3 and Sam Grlj at pick 4. Tiger Faithful has gone bang here. Now, I've got another video coming out, and I don't know if it will be out at the time making this video. It could very well be. But if it's not, even if it is for that matter, I have a video discussing the recent reports going around that Richmond are extremely interested in Xavier Taylor. And he's a player who has now jumped up so high on Richmond's board that it looks like he could be the other guy alongside Sullivan Robey, who it looks like Richmond most likely take. Grlj Toomey has, of course, mentioned Xavier Taylor's name as well here. Again, for those of you who don't know who Xavier Taylor is, he's a 191 centimeter defender who got best on ground for the Eastern Rangers in the grand final, having a crazy 25 disposal and 15 mark game. Very insane. He's actually compared to Josh Weddle because he has great burst and speed from the half back line, while also being able to play as a tall down there. So for any of you who are worried saying we don't need any more tall defenders, realistically Sullivan Robey would probably play more of like a half back kind of hybrid role with Richmond, a modern day Josh Weddle, which the Tigers could absolutely need. And Xavier Taylor is also higher than anyone else I just mentioned other than Sullivan Robey on most draft boards. So it looks like that could be the direction the Tigers could very well be going. Obviously, Sullivan Robey, the guy I've just mentioned this whole time, for those of you who don't know, is 193 centimeter high half forward / midfielder, who it looks like at this point is the clear ranked number 3 non-academy player in this draft. I think if West Coast don't take him, it's almost a certainty Richmond do at this point, especially considering the Tigers have been screaming out for a half forward for so long. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Adam Uze was asked to donate his left nut for a freaking high half forward. He would probably do it in a heartbeat because Richmond are desperate for it. It's also like this guy can rotate through midfield. You can use him as a rotation piece with a Sam Lawler or a Taj Houghton or even a Josh Smiley, who I feel like can be an underrated forward at times. We saw some of his forward craft with who the hell did Josh Smiley play for? It was the Eastern Rangers. I thought it was, but I was just thinking, no way they had him as well. Like, what the fuck has been in the Eastern Rangers freaking water over there in the last couple years? They're breeding some insanely good players. I feel like if Richmond take Robey and Taylor, who are both from the Eastern Rangers, everyone who plays for Richmond's just going to be from them at this point. But that's what I'm trying to say is, yeah, Uze would give his left nut for a higher forward. So it looks like Sullivan Robey will be a lock if that, does happen. So it does begin to ask the question on who will be the other one. As mentioned, Cal Toomey's knocked down to 3 players. I've already covered Xavier Taylor and him being the highest ranked other than Sullivan Robey. But there's 2 other guys here. Sam Grlj, who is the one that Tiger Faithful recently just said that he would lock in as the guy Richmond should draft, is a notable option. He's an interesting opinion for a lot of different reasons, because Sam Grlj realistically adds a lot of what Richmond need. They desperately need some burst from the stoppage, burst from the midfield, speed overall in the midfield. Sam Grlj covers that. They also need speed from half back, which not only Xavier Taylor can do, but Sam Grlj can probably do it a little bit better. And we've recently just seen him play a lot of half-back footy with Richmond in the VFL. Sam Grlj, as just mentioned, is also a proven Richmond player. He played multiple games with Richmond's VFL, even dominating Zeke Hewland in one game against the Gold Coast Suns. And Zeke Hewland is the number 2 highest ranked player in this draft. And Sam Grlj had a lot better of a performance than he did in the VFL game. So he definitely put his name up to be an option that Richmond could really look at. Sam Cumming, on the other hand, though, is a high half forward / midfielder who also fits in that positional need. Is he as good as the other guys? Probably not. He has moved up from the rank of 15 to 10 at the time of making this video, and he stands at about 184 to 186 centimeters, depending on which draft profile you do look at. The great thing with all these players that I've just mentioned for Richmond is that not only are they all the best available guys, but they're all positional needs. It's not like any of them are key forwards or key defenders, which Richmond really don't need to draft any more of. They happen to be not only the best available, which is great for Richmond, but they're all positional needs, which can be a headache for Richmond as well, because you have to really be careful on which guy you are legitimately going to take here. The least positional need is Xavier Taylor, but he's also the 2nd highest ranked guy here. The highest positional need could arguably be Sam Grlj, but he's the 3rd or 4th highest ranked guy here. There's a lot of different directions that Richmond are going to have to look at, but it is great and gives us some comfort now that we know by Cal Toomey that these look to be officially the 4 guys that Richmond have narrowed down with, taking at pick 3 or pick number 4. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a lot more interesting than last year's draft, especially considering in last year's draft, I think everyone and their dad knew Lawler was going at pick 1, and most people kind of knew Josh Smiley was going at 7. It was like the only draft in history where the top 10 had kind of been revealed before the draft had even officially started. But at this year, in this year's draft, we don't even know who's going at pick 2. We don't even know who the second non-academy player is going to be taken off in this draft board outside of Willem Dersma, who looks to be a pick 1 lock at this point. It might not even be Cooper Dove-Tyler. Richmond may still take him, which Cal Toomey didn't talk about because he thinks he's going to the Eagles. But that could still happen, and they could, still take Sullivan Robey. This year's draft is going to be fun. There's a lot of mystery, there's a lot of intrigue, and we really don't know what is, of course, happening. But, of course, I'd love to hear all of your thoughts and opinions on this down below. Who should Richmond, of course, select in the 2025 AFL draft? Will it be 2 out of the 4 of these guys that Cal Toomey has officially just mentioned? Or do you think Richmond are going to pick a random player out of their ass or something and take? Again, I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions. I don't think that's what's going to happen, but let me know what you guys think down below. Of course, subscribe to the channel for all latest sports content news. My gaming/movie channel will be linked down below as well. And go give me a follow on Instagram if you haven't already as well. All of them will be getting linked down below. But yeah, as I was saying, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.